Green leader.
Hey everyone, welcome back to JavaJawaJaw. I'm Terry, and with me as always are Ryan and Kent. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
And we are back here once more, just live. Social distancing measures being taken here, and talking here to talk about quite a bit of stuff. There's a lot that went on in Star Wars, not the least of which was the most recent episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Old friends not forgotten. A lot of the old gang back together again. Some of them for the full episode, others were just cameo stints. Also, yeah, I think we all want to talk about toys as well, too, right?
I like toys.
Yeah.
I like toys.
Toys are cool.
Yeah. 1 second.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing in this beautiful Sunday social distancing situation?
Sorry, I was watching the ad, so Ryan got paid.
plus 5 points to Kent. Thank you.
I'm here now.
As always, we're also going to be talking about coffee, right, Ryan? I think you got some coffee we want to discuss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get that going before we get into the Clone Wars stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
So you and I have been going on a journey through coffee, and my journey is continuing. So Terry, a couple weeks back, bought a Chemex. Has been making pour over coffee at home.
The Chemex clone.
Chemex clone.
It's Clone Wars. Yeah.
5 points. Chemex clone, and he's been making pour over coffee, and he's just been rubbing it in my face about every 15 minutes, saying, "Hey, you got to make some pour over coffee." So I went out. I bought a brand new grinder because the grinder I had it was not cutting the mustard, and then I bought a pour over like a V60 style pour over cone deal.
Yeah. So you got a clone too.
I bought it. Yeah. Well, yeah. This was actually it's like a ceramic one. It's not. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a clone. And then what else? I bought an electric kettle, per your advice. And I bought all those at crazy good deals through Facebook Marketplace. So that's been kind of cool. And so I went today. Nice. I actually was running out of coffee. I was like, we got a show tonight. I need coffee, and I was running out. So I went to a place in Charlotte called Dunks, Dunx. And when I said Dunks, Terry thought I meant Dunkin' Donuts.
I straight up did, man. I was so confused. So I'm like, why is he going to Dunkin' Donuts? That's the exact opposite direction that I wanted us to go.
He's like, you're doing it wrong.
No.
I went to Dunks. And they actually roast their own coffee. They had all kinds of different blends. And went there and picked this up. This is a Guatemalan blend, and it's quite good. And it was just roasted on Friday, which is also got a roast on date right there. It was roasted on Friday.
That's pretty fresh, man. That's pretty fresh.
Which means, Terry, since you're doing the pour over thing, the bloom when all the carbon dioxides come out, holy cow!
Yeah,
it's legit.
Yeah. Is it pretty lively?
It's lively. Versus something like I had some coffee sitting in the cabinet just there that had been there for who knows how long. And it was just like grocery store coffee, like Caribou or something that was just stuff that had been there for a while. And making the two side by side, you could just visually see which one was fresh and which one wasn't. You could see it. But this is really good, so I'm super excited to try this out. I've got some here. Big fan of this, and I'm excited about it. I also picked up some other coffee. We'll talk about maybe next week, but we're on a journey, man. My wife says that the next step, I don't know if you know this, Terry, if you even thought about this, but she said the next phase is just to roast it ourselves in the house.
This could be where this is going, man. I mean, I can see a JavaJawaJaw coffee. Yeah. A coffee company.
I saw a YouTube video where guy was roasting it on the countertop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
Dark side roast, light side roast, Bendu roast for the one in the middle.
So, stay tuned. We'll see. I don't know. Anthony B with a super chat. Thank you, brother. So, coffee-wise, I'm enjoying this. This will be my fourth batch of pour-over coffee at home. I highly recommend it. It is fantastic. So, there you go.
Awesome. So you heard it here first, everybody. Charlotte's really got some amazing coffee. I'm looking forward to this whole social distancing thing ending, so I can get back to the actual the exploration part of the journey.
Right.
Back to the coffee.
Where you can just go sit down and try. They had this thing. One of the one was I went to today was Water Bean. I was talking about that earlier.
Yes.
And they have like you can sit down and you can like try different blends and whatever.
Yeah.
So whenever we're able to do that, we should totally do that.
So next year then.
Boom.
2021.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Coronavirus.
I don't
Good
know
thing
why the coffee
Kobe had
makes
his
me
mask
sleepy.
on.
David, yeah, that could happen to some people, I guess.
Yep.
Boom.
Okay, so yeah, coffee. Got that done.
I've got to turn up my speakers. Hold on.
Is it your speakers or is it my microphone? Because I can move the mic closer.
No, you're good.
Kent, can you hear me fine?
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
it's just
sorry for
me.
the
It
sound
was me.
check right now, everybody. But
It was me. Anthony
Actually
B
got caught
dropping.
up
Anthony's buying us coffee. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that very much.
thanks, man. Yeah, one more for. Yeah.
Whenever
We
we
got
get back
caught
together,
for two
we'll
of
have a cup on you.
Yeah, Anthony, mine doesn't cost $5, so dial it back.
Boom. There
Yeah.
you go.
So anyway, yeah, we've got our coffee. Some of us can't do coffee at night because otherwise we'd be up all night. So we're drinking. I'm drinking also from North Carolina, from Durham, North Carolina, Full Steam Brewery, Paycheck Pilsner, which was recommended to me by somebody that I work with at my part-time gig. And wow, this beer is everything. It's like what Coors wishes that it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Out of a can, no less.
Yeah.
I have a hard time having one out of a can. It's something about it. I don't know what it is, but it's
Right. I'm right there. I'm right there with you most of the time. Cans are making a comeback. I think it started. I think it started mostly because, for me, it started back on the beaches of California. A lot of the local breweries out there, microbreweries out there, craft brewers, they started producing more cans because people were taking their beers to the beach, and the glass was breaking on the beach, and it was creating a problem. So cans started making a comeback, and it seems to have spread back across the whole country. I kind of dig it. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Thank you, Mary77, for saying "bless you" when I sneezed. I really appreciate that.
So as long as we're on the topic of brews, and this is JavaJawaJaw, local brewery here in Charlotte, Noda Brewery, actually has like a Star Wars themed beer.
Up Solo. Straight up has Han Solo on the can.
Right?
All right.
It is a low alcohol, low carb beer. So it actually falls in my purview these days of beers that I can allow myself to drink. I'm staying away from that high ABV stuff these days.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's check it out, man. The can is awesome. It's I keep hoping they get it at my local Trader Joe's, but so far that hasn't happened. I might just have to make a trip to the brewery itself, or maybe actually walk into a Harris Teeter for whatever.
We might have to do JavaJawaJaw at Noda Brewery.
There you go.
Maybe
man.
so. Maybe so.
In addition to that, let's backtrack to Dunks because I messaged them on Instagram to see if they were open this morning, and they said they have in their little thing where they make the coffee, which they're not open or you're still buying the beans right now, but when they're normally open, they have called a JabberWookie.
JabberWookie.
It's cold brew nitro coffee with mint, dark chocolate, and vanilla.
Huh. That is fun.
That's what it says. Chewy's Choice. So
Nice.
that's kind of cool. So we'll have to try that when everything's back up to there.
Yeah.
Night of Ren says he's drinking H2O. Well, that's awesome. Congratulations.
H2O.
Yep.
Is that a local brewery?
I hope it's filtered. So we've got a lot to talk about, guys. Clone Wars.
It's been a Star Wars rich week, dude.
Woo.
Rich.
I mean,
Yeah.
we knew it was coming, but it feels.
I
good
anticipated
that it's
this.
Here, it has arrived.
Yeah. I like it that my patience has been
Rewarded.
rewarded. Yeah, met with great reward. It's yeah.
Like
Okay, well, let's just.
line
I mean, there's
for,
nothing
like, a
to it but just to
ride
start
at
talking
a
about it,
amusement
right?
park for 2 hours and you get let down by the ride. This was not a letdown. This was awesome. So I was super excited about it, and it was. That's why I titled it. I said like, now this is Clone Wars. This is beautiful. So
Anthony B, $14.99.
Anthony,
Dang.
tap the brakes, brother. Tap the brakes. Tap the brakes. I appreciate it very much.
I thought I was going to pay for all the brews.
Tap the brakes.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man, very much. I do. Anthony, if you actually have a question or something you want us to answer, then throw it out there, bud. But we have I'll let Terry just start it off. Let's start it off with the episode with the very beginning.
All right. Well, the very obviously to me was this whole musical number, this little musical ditty that played over the Lucasfilm Limited logo, which, as to my recollection, has not been something that frequently appears in front of a Clone Wars episode. That's a nod to something. They're sending a message with that, and I don't know what that message is. I'm really looking forward to. There's a show that appears on Star Wars every. It's like a Clone Wars Rewind thing that appears on the StarWars.com website every Monday. So I'm kind of glad we do this before that, by the way, because a lot of times they wind up talking about things that we've already talked about. So I would hate for people to be able to say, yeah, of course you're going to say that because they already said that on StarWars.com. No,
boom, you heard it here first.
Yeah,
first.
Right. But putting that aside, I'm really looking. I always look forward to that show. There's always a lot of really good, in-depth, insightful, albeit brief, interviews with the cast and crew. Most notably Dave Filoni, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what Dave Filoni has to say about what that was all about. I'm also looking forward to seeing if we're going to get that in front of future episodes of the Clone Wars, or if that was just something that was going to be like a one-off leading into this 4-episode arc. I don't know. What do you guys think? Did you have any impressions from it?
Well, seeing how I just recognized it 15 minutes ago, I guess when I was watching it for the first time or whatever, I was like distracted. I was like making coffee. I'm like, that's the intro or whatever. Didn't pay much attention. But I shall not do that again. Please forgive me.
Okay, that's all right. I actually I've watched it. I was watching it for the third time right before we went live. And I didn't take any notes or anything like that. I've just had a really, really busy, hectic week.
Yeah.
Sold a lot of 6-scale figures. No Star Wars.
Ooh.
Yeah, because that's just blasphemous.
You were. That's the sell me toys section.
That is the sell me toys section. Our new segment. Sell me toys. Yeah.
Now taking bids. Yeah, you're gonna make a trip to the UPS or USPS or something, whatever.
Oh, I did it the next day. It's all done.
Done. Yeah.
I had to go in and get one of those big baskets, big carts.
I sold a figure this week too, which I never thought I would sell. So I guess that counts, but. That happened.
So anyway, but back to the intro.
I'll tell you where we're at.
Go ahead.
This intro, and I'm gonna take us a little sports, boxing, kind of sports entertainment, wrestling. So we had our opening match with the first 4 arcs. We had a great mid card, told a story. Now we're in the main event. They hype up the music. You get a little bit of fireworks and stuff going. We are in the main event.
And somebody's been taking their cues from WWE, huh?
Sports entertainment.
Sports entertainment. Well,
that's an interesting observation.
So we only got we're only in round 1, I guess, of this battle.
Of this particular battle, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was it was fantastic. It was a great episode. So we start off and we really just dropped off in the middle of a battle. Which is how Clone Wars, like, how many times has that happened? Like, a lot. Like, they're in the middle of this, their ship's going down, crashing, whatever. But we haven't really seen that previously. Even with the Bad Batch episodes, we didn't really see that. I mean, we had pieces. But this one was just full-on battle. And it was epic. It was beautiful.
Well, just backing up a little bit before we even get into that, I mean, while we're talking about impressions that we get off of the intro and everything like that, we should probably touch on the fact that once again we saw the Star Wars logo pop up in red, which has traditionally been, as you pointed out earlier, an indication that we're going to see Darth Maul in that episode. But more importantly and more noticeably for me, at any rate, was the fact that Kevin Kiner's opening score for Star Wars Clone Wars was notably absent, and we got instead the classic cinematic opening score by John Williams.
True story.
Let's talk about that. What does that mean? I mean, to me, my first impression was like, okay, our little baby's all grown up. They no longer consider themselves to be like the child of Star Wars. They are now they're now all grown up and ready to take the mantle. They've got it. I mean, they've perfected everything. Yeah, it's no longer an experiment. It's no longer a little side project. This is Star Wars canon, and this is legitimately a part of Star Wars lore.
Yeah.
Possibly about to become an even bigger part of Star Wars lore, depending on where they go with other shows after this.
Yep. Well,
anybody have any other thoughts on this? Or
one of those things I was mentioning earlier is I think we have finally arrived in episode 3. That's where I'm thinking we're at. That's why we got that cinematic music, is because we're finally in episode 3.
That's possible.
Where prior to that, I feel like it was like in between 2 and 3, but now we're here. Yeah, that guy. That let's not talk.
Welcome back, Cody.
It's too soon, man. Too soon.
Dylan,
every time Obi-Wan saves Cody, Ryan tears up a little bit.
It's too soon, man. Too soon.
Every time Obi-Wan saves Cody.
I shouldn't even have this on camera, man. I know it's just taunting. I'm just going to push it out of the way here. And
well, he's taunting me because I don't own it, but also because of this particular episode, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, as far as the film score goes, it's been beautiful. I love to hear that, because it's what you're used to, and it's recognizable themes. Whereas in the Clone Wars episode, if you go back and watch the first 6 seasons, actually 6.5 seasons, I guess, there's not really any themes. They're just sporadic. It's just kind of like background. There's some fighting going on, but there's not really many.
Yeah,
themes.
there's a lot of borrowing and modification of old themes.
Right.
You'll get little snippets of it, but it's been I don't want to say corrupted. That's just too cruel of a term. It's just been modified and shifted just enough so that it's still recognizable to people with a keen ear for that kind of thing.
Right.
But most people probably wouldn't notice it.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
Like we noticed with Ahsoka, and when she was using the Force in the previous episodes, it played a little variation of the Force theme.
Just a few notes,
leading
into some other melody,
And if you didn't know, you wouldn't catch it. But
yeah, but that's been an ongoing thing. They've done that for the entirety of the series.
But this one, we straight up. I mean, they're just like, here you go, bam.
Yeah.
Like John.
But
Williams
you wanted to
is here, and this is going to be the last we hear from John Williams, I guess, in Star Wars officially, other than his Rise of Skywalker's over with, it's done. Now this is the it's the last of John Williams we're going to hear, which is kind of odd. I didn't see that coming.
He had to retire sooner or later.
Yeah. I didn't see them using it in this series.
Oh, okay.
I figured Rise of Skywalker that was done, but here they said no, we're going to bring it back. So pretty cool. I enjoyed it. So if you like music, good place to be. It felt like home.
Speaking of things that you enjoyed, I can tell you're totally hot to talk about this opening battle.
I like battles, man.
I know you do.
These guys, stupid clankers.
Yeah, I've got one of these guys around here too.
These clankers. Yeah, the battle. Oh, I love that. That's the infantry one. Oh, I need that one too.
Security, actually.
Security droids.
Security.
They've got the red splashes.
Yeah, with the STA. They call it a STAP. Is that what they actually?
Yeah.
It's also. Yeah, I'll have to acquire one of those at some point. But yes, this battle was friggin' epic. Okay, Obi-Wan is pinned down with Cody, that backstabbing jerk, sitting there on the bridge.
Save Cody.
All right, Cody's sitting there. Obi-Wan, this bombshell's coming in. Boom, boom, gonna knock out Cody, and everybody's like, "Yeah, he's going down." And Obi-Wan goes, "Boom!" No, he takes out a freaking mortar. It saves the guy who 3 or 4 days later is gonna freaking try and kill him.
Yeah, that's kind of rude.
Take cover.
It's just I know that Cody doesn't have control over that because of the chip and everything, but it's still, still too soon, man. Too soon.
It is painful to know. I mean, it's like breaking up the band,
It's brutal. And then
that's essentially what he did too. Yeah.
They said they had like 1,000 battle droids on the other side of this bridge, which looked like the Golden Gate Bridge. Honestly, that's what.
Only 1,000.
So they're doing this thing, and Anakin comes up just like, "Sup?" he's just like, I don't know, and not a care in the world. He knew something that Obi-Wan didn't know, and that was awesome. Which brings me to probably one of my favorite parts in the whole episode, which is right there in the beginning, where Anakin's up on the rubble and Obi-Wan's down below. So Anakin steals the high ground. That was my immediate thought. I thought two things. I thought one, we're in the Matrix because Anakin's just walking by like dodging blaster bolts. He's just like,
That was great.
right?
That was a big thing for me. Just that little shrug, like, just
That was Neo from the Matrix move. Now that was cool. So he's like, I don't know if he's seeing green through the Force or whatever. I don't know. But anyways, doing that was sick. That was just a nice, like, I don't know. I have arrived by the power of the Force, and I'm here.
I have an observation to make about that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Big shock, right? But that whole bit from the time that he shows up to the time that he walks out to confront the droids and hopefully flesh out the tactical droid, the super tactical droid. If you go back and watch that whole thing again, listen to everything that Anakin says. His whole demeanor, everything about him is jaunty, bouncy, teasing, fun, cocky. Mm-hmm. Now, close your eyes. Don't even close your eyes. Just watch him. And imagine him saying all that with the voice and mannerisms of Darth Vader. Those words take on a completely different and much darker tone.
I shall have to try that.
I wish that I had actually taken the time to write out the script. But if you take a meaner tone of voice, if instead of teasingly addressing Obi-Wan the way that he was, if he was just like, we could do it the way you want to do it, or we could do it my way. Just get dark with it. Just picture it. Imagine it with Vader's voice. It completely changes the tone and completely changes your perception.
That's deep, man. I'll have to go back and watch that one.
It's ominous. It's ominous. And I don't know if that was just a directing decision. I don't know if that was a directing decision or what the deal was. It's possible that they filmed it that way and then filmed this one as a safety take. And the people at Disney were like, no way, man. That's just way too dark.
It's too soon.
And yeah, it's way too soon, man.
It's not,
too soon.
We're not there yet.
Yeah.
Well,
3 more days.
He definitely clearly demonstrated power. Well, I'll say power, the ability to just be awesome. I mean, what do you think he was that way because of his connection with the Force and where he was at in his power level and skill and all that, or because he knew what was underneath the bridge?
His cockiness?
Yeah, where he was, because he wasn't concerned at all. Was it that, or because he had an ace in the hole, thinking had all
combination
the under the bridge?
Combination. I mean, even as a Sith Lord, and even as a member of the Empire, after he puts on the suit and gets the helmet, he's still got a pretty decent flair of arrogance about him. When he pulls those 2 TIE fighter pilots away from the Death Star and says, "There, several fighters have broken off from the main group. Come with me," and he just goes off with two wingmen to handle what winds up being 9 other fighters.
Right.
I mean, he's got supreme confidence in his abilities, and he's always been cocky.
Right.
Even before, I'm the only human that can. I'm the only human that can fly a pod racer. He's always been cocky as long as we've known him.
True story.
So
what a jerk.
So yeah, but I think it's a combination of two. You have of the two. Yeah, he's confident in his abilities. All the clones of the world underneath that bridge aren't going to make him aren't going to be able to save him from a stray blaster bolt that he then winds up dodging just on his own and casually and nonchalantly.
Right.
So he's got. Yeah, so he's cocky, yeah, sure, but it's a combination of the two. He also knows that he's got an ace in the hole under the bridge.
Right. So, yeah. Kent, what was your thoughts on this battle?
It was awesome, and just something about the pacing. The pacing of the episode just feels so good. Kind of reminds me of Mandalorian. I felt like we got a whole lot in one episode, so definitely enjoyed the pacing, and this battle kind of set up more battles in the episode, so all kinds of fun.
You make a really good point there, because this is just the first episode of 4. Right. They're not gonna shoot their entire load in the first episode. If this is what we're seeing in episode 1 of a 4-episode story arc that is the swan song for this series, then what is the rest of the series going to be like? Right. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. This is just the beginning of the end. It's not over yet.
Yeah, we're just starting off good. It was beautiful. The guys, it was just the entire sequence of it, the choreography between the droids and the blaster bolts and Anakin walking down the bridge and everything. It was just beautiful. It was gorgeous. And I didn't see Anakin walking out trying to surrender. I didn't see that coming. But and that clearly nobody did, which is something he would do. Just nobody would expect, even his own Jedi or the enemy. None of us saw that coming. That was just brilliant. It was just brilliant. I love it. So, and we got to see the 501st doing some crazy stuff. Which there was a funny line. The guy's hiding under the bridge. There was a funny line when Rex. R2 tells him, it's going to just hang on a minute or whatever. Rex says, "Can he hold on to it?" And you heard one of the clones in the back say, "Sir, yes, sir," but he said it kind of like, "Okay," it's kind of sarcastically.
Yeah.
Hanging around.
He's like, "Well, if like we have a choice, we're hanging here,"
That's always been the clones at their best, man. When they've just been, they just show those human qualities. That they're more than just like knockoffs and brain dead clones of a powerful bounty hunter. I mean, they've got personalities, and some of the best parts of the Clone Wars are when we see that. I think Heavy, I think hard case. It's just neat. It just makes it much more relatable for me.
I loved it. It was great. So
Anakin goes out there. The collector actually is asking us. Maul has to survive, correct? Yes, absolutely. Foregone conclusion. He doesn't meet his end until Rebels.
Yeah.
I mean, he might get cut in half.
Spoiler alert.
He could get cut in half again, and just
he could get cut in half again. Because we've got to see him. Okay, that's a valid point. Because we've got to see him in Solo, which happens much later than this, right? Is Solo? Yeah, Solo is much later than this, and we see him with those clunky, I don't want to say cheap, but those they're definitely not as intricate as his almost human-looking legs.
Right.
But he's got those clunky metallic legs that they feature in the Solo Darth Maul Hot Toy figure.
Right.
So maybe this will tell us how he got those. Maybe he will get cut in half. Won't that be something?
I mean, Obi-Wan did say, he tends to not die or something like that. So,
yeah, with 22-minute episodes, you tend to expect them not to throw away a line like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's
going
to be pretty good.
So,
I enjoyed it, man. I love the "it's a trap" part, the throwback to Akbar.
Trap.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
I love that throwback. I thought that was awesome. I mean, overall, I just, I don't know if we want to go like scene by scene for this thing, but
I don't think we need to. I think everybody's seen it, and we'll spoil everything for everybody.
No, but just the key points about this thing, the fact that kind of the situation we're in right now is all the Jedi are being sent out to the Outer Rim, and they're being sent out away from Coruscant, which we've been
out
for a while with Ahsoka and whatnot. Palpatine's doing his maneuvering. Got Grievous doing a battle over here. He's got Maul's doing his own thing. He's doing it, whatever.
Right.
But he's got these other battles starting up, and one of the things they mentioned, and I thought was interesting, is they said they hadn't heard from Shaak Ti. Like, we lost communication with Shaak Ti. I thought that was an interesting little tidbit. So I don't know where we're going to end up going with that just yet. But
you saw the Tartakovsky Clone Wars, right?
Back that up. Hold on.
The Tartakovsky Clone Wars. Tartakovsky is the guy that did Samurai Jack, and ages ago, before this Clone Wars series was a thing, he did a web series of Clone Wars. You're familiar? Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Way back when.
Got it.
Way back.
Yeah. But what he did was he actually told this story that coincides with Revenge of the Sith, in which we see Grievous and his troops capture the Emperor, who's being protected by Shaak Ti, by Momanedan. No, not Momanedan. Rowan Karab, a Jedi Master Rowan Karab, he's like Hammerhead, but but a Jedi. I actually made a custom 6-scale figure of him. Don't tell Sideshow.
I didn't.
Yeah. There was one other Jedi too, but obviously they all died except for Shaak Ti, and I think even Shaak Ti winds up dying in a deleted episode of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, she gets a saber through the chest, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So whatever's going on with her at the current time, she's off doing her thing. But let's talk about some the key moments in this episode, I guess. One of them's got to be the fulcrum.
Fulcrum.
Yeah, that was a nice little Easter egg.
Yep.
Yeah, so Fulcrum's been going on much longer than Rebels. It was apparently a thing with they called it Anakin's code word.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
So that's why Ahsoka's using it, because when she's using the Fulcrum code word, she's not aware of the fact that Anakin Skywalker has become Darth Vader.
Yeah, I mean,
and if Vader would have been
they
halfway
said
savvy.
using your code, your signal or whatever, your transmission. I'm going your frequency. I'm like, what?
And I thought it was Saw Gerrera.
Right?
Yeah.
Saw Gerrera was in there, but the Fulcrum thing was cool because of the tie into Rebels. I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. Kind of dig it. So I enjoyed that. I thought it was a good, nice. They give us a lot of little Easter eggs in this episode, which were pretty fun. So I was a big fan of that. But the meeting of Ahsoka coming onto the ship, and that was like, it was in the heart, man. Hit me in the feels. So I was like, oh, it's crazy. What were your thoughts,
Yeah,
Terry,
and then it was successful because it was pretty clear that was their intent, and they did it, and they did it well. Everything from the music to the reactions, the expressions on people's faces, clearly refined. I think, again, I'm going to bring up, I think that they learned a thing or two from Resistance. And were able to incorporate some of the techniques they used in Resistance with the animation in the Clone Wars, in that particular 3D technique. And it was to the benefit of all the acting of the digital characters.
It was gorgeous.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Everybody was happy to see the commander back on the ship.
Right?
That was really, yeah. That was really heartwarming.
It was great.
They paid less. How am I going to say this? They did a really good job of commemorating what the clones were doing for Ahsoka in painting their helmets to match the pattern on her face. But I have to be honest, I thought they would do more. I don't know what I thought that they would do. I actually thought there would be more. I think what wound up happening is it was more succinct. Yeah, it was just they made a big enough deal out of it, but they did it in a short amount of time, which you have to do in a 22-minute episode if you're going to have any substance to it whatsoever.
It was a lot packed into 22 minutes. So I could see that.
Yeah.
Well, and that was kind of their in-canon story for it too. They did what they could in the time her traveling there.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it.
That was pretty cool. But yeah, and the whole deal here, we finally got to see. All right, so Ahsoka's doing her thing. She's meeting everybody. Rex is just being Rex, right? And I love it when she says, I'm no longer. You don't call me Commander, and he goes, "Okay, Commander."
Yeah,
that was Rex, 100%.
That was very much a Rex. That whole bit was it just clearly illustrated the affection that those two have for each other.
Yeah, he's like, you can call me Sir or Captain.
Yeah, very much a uncle sort of a figure for her, I think. Yeah. Speaking of the familial vibe, I really felt like the interaction between Ahsoka and Anakin when they were doing the exchange of when he was giving her the lightsabers really solidified the fraternal relationship between the two of them. It's clearly just such a brother-sister vibe.
Did
when he said,
call him Master?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
At the very beginning, did she call him Anakin later on, though?
Yeah, I think she did, but she definitely called him Master at least once.
At the very first time she addressed him, she called him Master, but I can't remember if she called him that.
I think she said Anakin the very last time. Besides that, I think it was Master.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's really interesting because that just kind of indicates there's been a transition there.
Right, because
there's an acknowledgement.
Like Padawans don't do that. You're just Master or Jedi Master or whatever. But that was pretty cool to see. But
Jeff Probst, looks like you got a new recruit there, Ryan.
Jeff Probst, welcome
aboard, man. Yeah,
thank you, buddy. And get yourself an avatar. You look like a guy with just a circle dot for a head.
Oh, snap.
Do not make us call you Circle Dot, Jeff. Do not make us call you Circle Dot.
No, I mean, if that's what you look like, it's okay. And
that's fine.
Judging.
Yeah, we're not going to judge.
I'm not judging.
He might be a clone.
All right. Look at the patrol, dude.
Yeah, it's this whole. I wanted that scenario, and I'm glad they didn't. But I wanted that scenario where Ahsoka and Anakin were hanging out when he hands her the sabers and all that thing. I wanted to kind of milk that a little bit, but that was just me being selfish, I guess.
Yeah, well, and I don't think that's unreasonable of you to want that. I think that I think each of us wanted something to be a little bit more. I told you that I wanted to have the scene where they're dedicating their helmets to Ahsoka to be a little bit longer. I think it's just perfectly normal. It's just too bad the constraints of the time slot don't allow for it.
I think Anakin wanted more of it too.
Revenge of the Sith.
That's pretty clear.
Revenge of the Sith called, and they want their Star Wars back, so they had to pull, everybody out.
Yeah,
it was cool. But she gets the double sabers, which we know her from Rebels and the whole deal, and that was glorious. If I thought Anakin went to Disney Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and got the case for the sabers and said, "Here you go."
Well, he might have went to that planet.
That kind of makes me want to build a case for a couple of cases for a couple of my lightsabers. I would like to. I don't like the case that the legacy sabers come in. I think it looks cheap. It's cheap and plastic.
Oh yeah, they're plastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would very much like to have something more elegant and refined to put something like that in. I mean, it's not the Ben Solo saber isn't precise. It's definitely got some soft edges on a lot of it. There's a lot of it that wasn't separate pieces that should have been.
Right.
But it still deserves a little bit more than that plastic, and it deserves way more than to just be sitting on a shelf like it is on over here on my desk.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
So where do you guys want? You want to talk about the battle? You want to go to toys? Let's talk about toys. Let's go there.
Okay.
Let's talk about toys. So from this episode, we get I think one of the very first things I think Kent maybe mentioned on Friday is, are we going to get a Clone Commander Vaughn action figure?
I missed that conversation.
Yeah,
Boom.
Clone Commander.
There we go.
Vaughn.
Boy.
Maybe it was Saturday. Today's Sunday. Whatever day it is. I don't even know. But Friday.
It's a day that ends in Y.
Yeah, it's been a blur, man. This whole not going anywhere and not work, it's weird. But that being said, Clone Commander Vaughn with the Ahsoka paint scheme and the Cody light visor and the whole, it was cool. I was down with that.
I'm gonna make one. I was checking out the armor. It's basically just standard 501st armor. The only thing they did was paint a helmet. Yep. So I've got quite a few spare helmets laying around here. I'm just gonna grab one and have a go.
Ooh.
Yeah. Hope maybe by next JavaJawaJaw I will have an Ahsoka brigade.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, and we also
501st Legion Tano Division.
Commander Rex.
Yeah, finally got promoted.
Yeah.
Commander Rex.
Yeah. Well, he looks no different though, right? Did that change at all?
No, it didn't change at all.
It did. Didn't have time. It did. He's got little bars.
Did he?
I think he has like little bars on his helmet that weren't there before. You gonna call it up? Somebody did. Ahsoka. I saw that Ahsoka had 2 gold bars on her headdress, and it seems to me that I remember
instead of the beads. Yes.
Yeah, I kind of seem to remember Captain Rex having the same bars. Maybe I'm thinking of another character. I don't know.
All right, so the only time we saw it was when he landed on the platform, right?
Yeah.
So.
Because he was last.
Yeah, he had his helmet off for majority of it. All right, so there we go. Hold on. Let's see here.
I just want a box that says Commander Rex.
I'm looking. Hold on. I might be missing something, but I don't really see anything different. I don't have.
Talking about Ahsoka's lightsabers, by the way, and Caden Staub brought it up as well in a question here, and that's what brings it back up with me. But did anyone notice the sounds, the humming sound of Ahsoka's lightsabers?
Especially,
those sabers. Yeah, those sabers sing, baby.
Yeah, they're nice.
You hear a lot of. I used to read a lot of like high fantasy novels and stuff like that, or Elric of Melbourne, or and everybody's talking about when they describe certain swords out of legend, they talk about how they sing when you swing them around, and that's really what that put me in mind of. I mean, I was just delighted by that sound. Never heard anything like it whatsoever. It's like the antithesis of Maul's, because they used, like, with the humming sound of Maul's saber when it's being swung, they used like a chainsaw as a role model for that when they were creating that sound. This is the exact opposite of that. It's like, I don't even know how to describe it, but it puts me in mind of like ice crystals, or oh god, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like sounds that I haven't heard before.
Right.
But again, it's kind of the antithesis of Maul. So when those two actually using those sabers and Maul's saber, when they have it out, that's going to be like this oral dance, if you will. It's really going to be something to hear. Yeah, watch that one with headphones on, boys and girls, because that's going to be tight.
I'm consulting the product.
To see if he has those on.
I don't see a difference.
Make me figures.
Oh no? Okay, I'm wrong then. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't think so. Minus 5 points. All right. Figured I'd ask. All right, so Captain Commander Rex is my favorite Clone Wars character. Right on, Nighter yeah, there was I agree, and she handled herself with those sabers like she should. It was brilliant.
Caden's giving us a little bit of information here. Caden says that the ones in Rebels, the lightsabers in Rebels they used crystals from an Inquisitor, and the hilts were pieces that called out to her throughout the galaxy.
Interesting. I'll have to go back and check that out.
I'm totally intrigued. I really want to know.
Yeah, I'd like to know that as well, because I'd like to know that too. I would really like to know. So this one right here, though, she goes to there, and she pulled the I told Kent she pulled the Captain America from Winter Soldier, like, you know, you don't have a jetpack, and she goes, I don't need one. And she just like race you to the. So I thought of two things. I thought about Captain America from Winter Soldier jumping out of the plane to land on the ship, and then I also thought of Thor Ragnarok, when Valkyrie and Thor are bouncing around, doing their thing, and it was just as brilliant. But here
it's not something. Yeah, go on.
It was awesome to see that she just went for it, and she was a Jedi. I mean, she was a Force user. Jedi.
No hesitation, zero hesitation. She knew for a fact that she was going to be able to pull this off. I mean, it's just like you and me walking out the door and crossing the street. For her, I mean, that's just
of making it.
That's the level that she's at right now.
She literally says, "Rex, I'll race you to the ground."
Yeah, and it's not. I mean, again, that comes from Anakin. That shows her as being trained by Anakin, sort of Anakin's sister figure. You know, they've got that in common. They're both a little bit cocky, and that's where she got that.
Yeah,
I think that just marvelous the way that not only was she able to like hop down from ship to ship until she landed exactly where she needed to be, she hopped from ship to ship with intent, was able to annihilate every Mandalorian she came across in the process, and jump onto a burning ship to rescue the clone trapped inside, before leaping from that ship, landing on the landing platform just in time for the ship to explode behind her in a really cool effect. I mean, I don't think I didn't have going through my head that song, "Cool guys don't look at explosions."
You can't look back. It's not cool.
She did not look back, man. That was her moment. She's here. She's here to stay.
Enough things. She's seen explosions.
Yeah, our little Ahsoka's all grows up.
She gets on there. She's fighting all these guys. I would the Bobby Toy. I would also like to see some of those the Mandalorian figures as well. Not only the white owls or whatever the heck they have the owl. The Bo-Katan has the owl thing going on with her new clan or whatever. But the other guys that are protecting the Mandalorian court, high house, white house, whatever it is. I don't know, whatever it is. I'd like to have like an army of both. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah,
I can see a cool diorama of a bunch of Mandalorians flying around up here. So.
Yeah, that kind of we got to bring up an appendix to Buy Me Toys here, because those Mandalorians are they're going to make some great figures.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Especially, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I hate the bastard, Gar Saxon.
Right.
I love to hate him. Let's put it that way.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I had a question for you. We're kind of backtracking on that. The guards, the Maul had put these guards in place. These Mandalorians, they all had horns on their helmet, right?
Yes.
But we also saw, and I asked Kit this earlier. The armorer from Mandalorian also had the same horns on her helmet, or his. Yeah. So, did she just find that helmet, or is that something that was passed down, or is she one of those people that were there? Is she old enough to even be that? I don't know, but age-wise. But that was interesting. Where did that come from? There?
That'll be interesting to hear them explain that, because I really don't have anything to offer there.
Yeah.
I'm just speculating.
I'm just trying to look. Yeah, her. I'm looking up images of her right now because I didn't recall her. Her horns aren't quite Maul-like.
No, they're just like
they're much more.
Or something.
Yeah, they're like in a semicircle. Over the top.
It could be more symbolic.
Oh, hey guys, there's a digital file for a helmet for her if you want to
Boom! That's what I needed to know.
Digital file for a Mandalorian armor helmet?
Insane goon. I was trying to remember who Rook was, and it's Sabine's sister.
Right. Yeah, Sabine. We were kind of talking about this earlier in the week. Sabine would be very, very, very young if she's alive at this point.
Holy crap! Wait a minute. Who was Sabine's sister?
The next to Saxon Rook.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So she was paired up with Gar Saxon?
Yeah, she was ordered to call the Republic. She was getting ready to rally the forces, and they say Rook call the Republic.
Yep.
Oh my God, that's interesting.
Boom.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's one hell of an Easter egg.
Cool stuff going on there. We get awesome fight scenes. It's just everything. So I don't know. We could talk about a 22-minute episode for hours and hours, but it's not terrible. But it's I don't know. I just
that Gar Saxon would be an awesome figure though.
Gar would be a cool one. We get Almec, who's just the loser, slimy punk that he is. I mean, just.
I didn't expect him to have armor. That was kind of impressive.
Right. The fight scene between him and Bo-Katan was pretty cool, although it wasn't really much of a fight for him. But did you see? So the under the helmet section here, Bo-Katan's fighting Almec on the in the room there, and the way she moves, and the way her armor moves, and the way like the jetpack fired when she wanted to do a kick, and just. Crazy.
Yeah, the jetpack move especially was something that caught my attention, obviously. But were you going to draw a comparison between it and something else?
No, I was going to say that right there showed that helmet, whatever's going on under that helmet, because she didn't say anything, it just did whatever she wanted it to do.
Yes, it's exactly what they were talking about with the whispering
whistling birds.
Yeah, but not the whistling birds. I was thinking of
Rising
Phoenix.
Probably,
She said the Rising Phoenix will not hear your commands until you've mastered it.
Well, she's clearly
something to that effect. Yeah. Oh yeah. Undoubtedly.
That was cool.
That's
I want one of those helmets.
So there's definitely some sort of a device going on within those helmets that allows it to read the user's thoughts.
Right.
And maybe that's it. Maybe there's like a connection period, like when you're trying to get your Bluetooth devices to mate. Maybe.
Well, I mean, it's not much different than Iron Man. Iron Man didn't. Mm-hmm. Tony Stark didn't sit there and say things. It just happened. So maybe he's a Mandalorian.
Ooh.
Crossing
that. Yeah.
Rook was voiced by Vanessa Marshall, who voiced Hera, Syndulla, and Rebels. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking at her. I'm looking at Rook Cast's Wikipedia page here, and I'm seeing no mention of the Wren family, of them being sisters.
Later inspired the latter.
Yeah. Now they're telling me it's Rook Cast from the comics.
Yeah, Rook Cast was a human female Mandalorian warrior who led the Shadow Collective Super Commandos during the Clone Wars. After Darth Maul was imprisoned by the Sith on Stygian Prime, Cast and Commando Gar Saxon freed Maul and brought him to a Shadow Collective base on Zanbar. I think this is all
Son of Dathomir stuff.
Yes, yeah. So So yeah, there's no indication of any familial relationship with Sabine Wren, although they do look a lot alike.
Let's see here. Interesting.
Yeah.
Where do you guys think we're headed next week? Because we've been on about it.
Sky's the limit, baby. I mean, yeah. What do you? Okay, Kent, you go first on this one because I really haven't thought about it, to be honest. I'm just letting it happen.
I mean, Maul was not happy with the Jedi that showed up, seeing it's not Obi-Wan.
He did not get what he wanted for Christmas at all.
That's a good
now,
way to say
where I go with it was Maul ready to kind of tell Obi-Wan, like, hey, it's Palpatine and y'all are in trouble?
No, man, he just wanted him dead.
Like, where was Maul gonna take it?
I don't think Maul really cares, other than he just wants to fight Kenobi. The rest of it's irrelevant.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But he escaped, though. He got away from Palpatine. Palpatine's his enemy. Like, he needs Palpatine out of the picture.
Okay, right. Yeah.
He doesn't want Palpatine to come scoop him up again and kick his butt and lock him up again.
So you think his plan is to take down Palpatine?
Well, if he could have had Kenobi and could have gave Kenobi the heads up, like, hey, y'all have been tricked and this is the real Sith Lord.
Well, we know he doesn't do that, though, because we've seen Revenge of the Sith, so he's not going to do that.
Yeah,
that would be mighty.
Why he wanted Kenobi.
I'm coming around to your way of thinking, Kent, because that's something very similar to what he did with the Jedi when they were on the Sith Temple.
Okay.
In not Moraband. But yeah, it was Moraband. The Sith Temple on Moraband.
He knew he needed them to fight the Inquisitors to fight Vader.
Right. Exactly. He talked about that. Basically led them to believe that they could be allies, but then at the first opportunity, yeah, you're right, Kim.
I'm gonna go. Maul is 100% tunnel vision on Kenobi. The rest of it, don't care.
Okay,
I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, I think that Kent could be onto something. I don't know how accurate it is, but it's a reasonable thought to have.
It'll be more clear if we get a vision of Sons of Dathomir. Then I think it'll show its true form. Mm-hmm. Because again, Sidious came into Mandalore, kicked his tail, killed his brother, right, took him back to Coruscant, locked him up. Like, I don't think he's as worried about Kenobi. I think he's like, how do I keep Palpatine from doing this to me again?
There is that bit in the first episode he's in Rebels when Ezra doesn't know he's Maul or who he is. He just knows him as Old Master at that point and asks him if he's a Sith, and his reply is something to the effect of, the Sith took everything, killed my brother, and just went on and recited this litany of grievances against Palpatine, basically. So at this point he has just as much hatred for Palpatine and the Sith as he does for Kenobi. Maybe not as much, but pretty damn comparable.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah.
It's up there.
Anyway, but yeah, so
we're gonna find out. I'm gonna have to go read the Son of Dathomir line. I'll have to pick that up.
Yeah, you should. It's worth it.
I'll get it on the digital and just read the whole thing and find it out. But just as I've never read the whole thing, so I've read bits and pieces, but not the whole thing. So.
It's worth a look. I've got it around here somewhere, but it may not be worth digging up again. I might have to go digital myself.
Yeah. Plus, probably
time ever.
On it. I mean, nobody wants that. So.
Nobody wants that. Yeah.
Well, we're going next week. We're
call me Captain
cool
COVID.
Stuff. I guess we should, before we jump out of here, we should talk about the last thing, one of the big announcements from this week, which was Disney Plus dropping after Clone Wars, Mandalorian behind the scenes, 8 episodes.
Yeah, that's gonna be something special.
I don't even care what they show. I'm just excited they're giving us more Mandalorian before season 2.
I'm right there with you.
And I would love to see more of that behind the scenes with that giant green screen thing, what they got going on with the projections and I don't know where they're going to show us. And I'm hoping we get some up close and personal time with the puppet. So
the child.
So that would be kind of cool. Maybe like the behind the scenes of making the child. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I had my up close moment with the child.
Right.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, so
excited about that. But yeah. Other than that, we got some pretty cool stuff coming from there. Between now and next week, anything you guys want to tell everybody about? Any upcoming content projects?
Nothing really Star Wars related. I don't know how much you can see on the table behind me, but I'm looking at a couple of Iron Man figures from Hot Toys that I'm going to be doing a video for this week, or as soon as they are Neon Tech Iron Man figures. So I'm waiting on the arrival of a Blacklight, but because of everything that's going on, Amazon is delaying shipping of non-essential items. Right. So it could arrive. It could arrive on Tuesday. It could arrive as late as next Monday. So that's coming. Apart from that, tomorrow, the Sideshow Pose of the Day Challenge prompt is going to drop. I have to, as soon as I get off the phone with you guys here, I have to write up a quick blog post and put together a video. Ooh. Wait, no, that's Tuesday. Tuesday the prompt is going to drop. Tomorrow is the winners for the ground pound pose prompt. So that's coming. I haven't
participated in that yet, and I think I might on the Tuesday.
Well, Tuesday, just pay attention on Tuesday because it's right up your alley and you've got the figures for it.
All right, well,
that's all I'm saying.
I like that kind of challenge. The ground pound one is cool. I probably could have done that one since I have some other non-Iron Man figures. Would be kind of cool. I could totally see like Darth Vader doing a ground pound. That would be cool.
Yeah, it's hard to get those figures. Somebody tried it.
Yeah, there ain't no way that's going to do
it. Yeah, it didn't quite. No, not with those pants, baby. That's just not going to work.
No.
One thing that might be able to pull it off, I haven't thought about it until just now, but possibly a battle droid.
Oh.
Would love to have seen somebody do a battle droid. Yeah.
The only problem with the battle droid is the torso. You really can't. Yeah. And a whole lot of moving there in torso, so that might be kind of tough. Maybe.
Yeah, valid point.
If it didn't have those connectors on the sides, it might be able to pull that off. But
you should do Palpatine.
I've got plans for Palpatine. I've got a photo that I'm going to be doing with Palpatine and two of his the Imperial Guards.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to do another photo of Deadpool in the Star Wars universe. I haven't decided how yet, but I got another one of those coming. So I'm thinking he's going to go on a journey as Rey from The Force Awakens. So
who is?
Deadpool.
Okay.
I think Deadpool and BB-8 might go on.
It's going to be like they're going to be like Kane from Kung Fu.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty. Yeah. So he's just going to be around. So.
I'm bringing that up a lot lately. Don't think I don't notice.
Yeah. Let's try.
All right, cool. So that's a wrap.
Yeah.
That's pretty much everything. Right? You got anything coming, Ryan?
Nothing figure related, like inbound that I can think of currently, but who knows? I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Articulated icons. So talking about Kung Fu, we got some ninjas on the channel tomorrow night.
Ooh, super cool.
Nice.
And maybe I'll do a video on, I don't know.
Oh, that's cool. Your Mandalorian
legends. So
Mandalorian Black Widow.
Natasha Mandalorian.
See what she can do with her jetpack.
I might wind up doing a Jedi Patrol Trooper video while I wait for my Blacklight to come in, because I did get the single Jedi Patrol Trooper, so now I have all three.
Yeah, you're gonna like that.
Yeah. I've joined the Jedi Patrol Club. You see what just happened there? I did that using the Force. I used the power of my mind.
We did. I don't know if we're gonna do it this week or whenever. We haven't talked about it, but our 6-scale skirmish, that was fun.
That was fun. We got to do it again.
We'll do it again. We'll schedule that whenever we have time. But I think the figure of choice that appears from all the comments was the Gen Urso Deluxe. So yeah, it could be fun.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll do that when we have time. But that's it for tonight, guys. I hope you enjoyed
Yeah.
Clone Wars. Definitely can't wait for Friday to come back. It's going to be pretty. So, I'm thinking he's going to go on a journey as Rey from The Force Awakens. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, that's it for tonight, guys. I hope you enjoyed Clone Wars. Definitely can't wait for Friday to come back. yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. So.
Yeah, this is as excited as I've been for TV show's next episode. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in, taking an hour out of your night, out of your weekend to watch us jaw about Java and Jawas and Java and
right. We'll let you sign them off, Terry.
All right, everyone, we have spoken.
See you.
Peace out.